Making $121 trading Home Depot. Let's get to work. So we made 121 on HD. We got in at around 10:11 a.m. Central Time, and then we got out at around, what is that Central Time? 2:35 Central Time, I believe so. And yeah, so let's cover the trade. It was pretty straightforward. I was actually kind of going back and forth between two options today, and they both would have worked. I think there was a better trade to be had, and that would have been on Caterpillar. But actually, I'm on what I want to look at first. Here's DIA, the Dow. If you guys were on the live stream this morning, or if you saw the live stream this morning, you would have seen that I was talking about the strength in the Dow and the Russell versus the S&P and the NASDAQ. It wasn't even close. The Dow and the Russell were way stronger. The Dow finishing up 1.81. The Russell up 3.4. I mean, that's crazy. Qs were about flat, and SPY was up 0.59. So when I'm seeing, and it was pretty clear early in the day. So if I go to the 5-minute time frame, we were on the live stream and we were seeing this move kind of going on the Dow. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. And we looked at what are the Dow stocks. And some of the Dow are ones that I will more so look at and will actively trade that move a bit better than others. Caterpillar was one of them. And then Home Depot has also been on my list for many months now. That was another. And here's the Home Depot trade. You can see that I like the chart setup, to be honest, more on Home Depot. But I think you had more strength in Caterpillar. I'll talk about both. I didn't trade both, but we'll talk about both, I think, just for the sake of the video, because I think it's good educational stuff. So big move up on Home Depot. Then you have a classic flag pattern, like classic. I did not get in on the break, like on this candle, because like some people will say, oh, get in here. I did not. I actually got in on this candle right here. So I got in when it broke high of day. I just like to play horizontal levels. That just personally is what I do. I'm not opposed to doing this. I just don't have a lot of data on it, so I don't really do it very often, to be honest with you. If I did, it would have been a tight stop, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if I did. It would have even been a tighter stop, but I still would have looked for roughly a 1.5 risk reward off of the high of day, which is what we were looking for, and I actually ended up getting about a 1.67 to be exact. So better than a 1.5. So that's the trade there. It took a little bit longer because I got in on this candle, and then we had about, what is that, 11:10. That is 11:10 Eastern time. And then, because my trading view is in Eastern time and my trade Zella is in Central time. I should probably change that, but I haven't. And then it's about an hour of consolidation, roughly, before it finally said, okay, boom, we're going to go. And it went off around noon. And then once it went, we got pretty close to our target. And I was like, okay, cool. I moved my stop loss to break even so I couldn't lose at this point. And then I was like, maybe it's going to fail and come back down. But it just came back down and then built a higher low and then went to the take profit. It got close here, but eventually hit it here. And that's it. Now, the reason why I mentioned Caterpillar is because Caterpillar, earlier on in the day, actually, this would have been around 10:30, 10:40 a.m., had a similar setup and had a much more aggressive move to the upside. So I'm going to pull up the bigger picture charts in a second. I like the Home Depot chart better, but this would have been a technical like breakout level for me. Not as clean, but it would have been good too. And if I dump over to the bigger time frames, here's kind of like my thought process. Caterpillar was a stock, if you guys go back, that I initiated a swing trade on back. I want to say it was back on, like the 18th or the 19th, or sorry, the 18th or the 20th of June. And because Juneteenth was the 19th, market was closed. So I initiated a swing trade in there, and then I kind of held it, and it was about flat. And then I had to exit my positions for my broker because they were changing brokers on the prop firm, because they were changing brokers for one weekend. So I did that and then had to get out. I just didn't get back in because I was like, it's just flat. I'm not going to get back in. I could have stayed in and it would have worked. My target was 350. It went to 360 plus so far. But very good move there on Caterpillar. But here's a Home Depot chart. I think the chart was a little bit better personally on the bigger time frames. Why? Because I see this area right in here, this gap to fill. It was a little bit cleaner. So above my breakout point, better chart, and a good gap to fill. As I'm looking at it now, I'm actually pretty happy with the trade. Like looking back, this is kind of like raw. Like me looking back and saying, like, should I have traded Caterpillar? Should I trade? Either one would have been fine in the grand scheme. They both worked. But as I'm looking at it, I think Home Depot just fits my criteria better, and it fit my setup better. In bigger time frames, fits my strategy better anyway. So I'm actually very happy with that trade. Very solid trade. Nothing to complain about. I'm gonna go back here to TradeZilla. I'm gonna log it as a bull flag setup. I'm gonna log it as a 5-minute time frame. It did take it was in this for a while. I usually am not in trades for this many hours, but sometimes that's how it goes. I mean, I don't know. I can't control how long it's going to take for it to move. Sometimes it goes nice and easy, and it just kind of grinds all day. And if it's going to grind all day, I'm not opposed to just moving, as it gets going, move my stop loss to break even once we've achieved more than halfway to our target. Move my stop loss to break even and let it do its thing. Is it going to hit or it's not? And it is what it is. And this time it worked. And again, this is on a $10,000 account. So my sizing, I look to risk under 100 to make well over 100, hopefully, on a given trade on the $10,000 account. And this is our first trade. Actually, we have an open trade on HUD, but our realized balance is 9,860, and we're currently equity wise, based on our current open P&L, we're above 10,000. But who knows what happens in the next trade. We'll have a recap on HUD when it comes out. So I'll leave links down below to TradeZilla and the prop firms I use if you're interested. They don't pay me to tell you that. I just use the stuff and I recommend it, and have affiliate links for stuff like that to support the channel. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Peace.